Hi guys, it's your girl Josephine Favor Roberts with Life with the Roberts. I want to tell you thank you for commenting, thank you for liking and subscribing. So guys, please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. We are almost there, but I need you guys' help. I see a lot of people watching the video but are not subscribing to the channel, and subscription is free. So please help me do that. Okay, so the reason why I'm here today is because I wanted to have this discussion with you guys. And the topic that I chose to discuss is, what do you prefer? What do you, my subscribers, or what do you that are watching, what do you prefer? One, do you prefer to stay here in America and work and send your money back home to do your projects? Or do you prefer to buy your plane ticket, save whatever money you have, and go there to do it? What do you prefer? Now, from somebody that has been doing work back home, it's kind of like a win-lose situation. So I'm just going to tell you guys my thoughts that I gather. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. What is the benefit of staying here in America and doing your projects back home? And we all know, in order to do projects back home, you need money. So what I came up with, if you stay here and do your project back home, you have a lot more money when it comes to finances, because whatever you spent on whatever particular projects or whatever thing you're working on in your house at that time, it might be plumbing, it might be electrical, it might be roofing, tiling, painting, whatever you're doing. I feel if you stay here, you have more money, because if you spend $2,000 to do your windows bar in your house, in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you get that money back because you're here. Another thing I've noticed from being here and doing the work is that you see your work progressing gradually, step by step, because you're here. Is like you can come up with a goal and say, for October, this is what I'm going to do, and then November, this is what I'm going to do. But because you're here, you see it progressing gradually. Another thing I noticed, because you're here and doing your project back home, you can easily change and make decisions. Like if you be like, okay, I thought maybe I was going to do this particular thing on the house, but you're here, you'll be like, okay, all right, I don't want that one, I'm going to do this one. So you can easily change and make decisions as you go along, because you're here and doing your work. Another thing I see, as you work, whatever money you spend is being replaced. And I think you get more done because you're here doing it. Now, what is the bad side of staying here in America and sending money back home to do your work? They take advantage of you. They take advantage of you. Why? Because you're not there. They take advantage of you. Another thing they do, they charge you more. A simple thing that could cause, because I remember when we'll stay here and ask people to like plaster our fence. At that time, we're plastering our fence and we're here, and the guy charged us like $200. So they started to plaster, but I had them leave it and do another work. So I think we paid them, if I'm not making a mistake, we probably paid them all. And then after they did the other work, they left for some time. And when they came back, I was like, you know what, just wait, let me get in the country. When we got in the country, the work that you will stay in America and pay $200 for, when you get to Liberia, you're paying 700 Liberty a day, which is like $4 or $3. So if you stay here and want to do your work, they will charge you more because you're in America. Another thing that happens because you're here, there is a lot of mistakes they make when you're not there. There's a lot of mistakes. I know now we have Facebook, we can talk on Messenger to see our work, but there is a lot of mistake that can occur because you're not there, to see what they're doing because you're here. And then the worst thing that can happen, they can steal from you. When I say steal, they can steal your material, they can steal your tools, they can steal anything they can put their hands on, because you are not there observing them. That could happen. So I just wanted to discuss that if you stay here and do your work. Now, is it beneficiary to go to Africa and get your work done? That's the second part of this discussion. Is it better to stay here and do it, or save up what you can save up and then go to Africa and get your work done? Okay, the way I see it, if you leave here and go to Africa and get your work done, whatever you take there with you, if you take maybe 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever you are able to take, whenever you take that, what you take, if it's finished, your project stops. Sometimes if you estimate, I'm going to spend 5,000, and when you get to Africa, there is a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes you be like, okay, I cannot do this, and then your work stop because of finances and because you're on ground. Another thing they do when you leave from here and go there, they will charge you more because you come from America. You I guess you have money hanging all over you, so they charge you more because they see you are from America. And maybe if they say hello, you're like, yeah, hi, how are you? And that one, it bothers me when I was in Africa, because every time somebody say hello, I was like, oh, how are you? So my price was different. Every time I was getting charged a different amount, because how are you, instead of saying your hello. So yes, you get charged more. Another thing, you can correct the mistakes when you're there. When you're on ground and you're there, whatever mistake you see, you can correct it. You can correct the mistakes. I remember one time, we're there. It was just a couple of months ago, and there is this guy. He's working on a project. So, for somebody we know, and we told him that this person wanted the room massively big. Because we that are outside in the US or whatever place you find yourself, when we say we want a big room, we want a big room. And I'm there on site telling this guy, the contractor, he's like, oh no, I think this side is bigger. I'm like, no, you don't. What I'm telling you is what you should do. This is what the person wants. Because they think otherwise. But if you're there, whenever they suggest or say this thing, you can correct it and say, this is what I want, because you're on site. Another thing they do, because you're on site, they work sometimes. This one goes to either you're there or you're not there. The work will go slowly because they're enjoying. They might have charged you for food money, so they're eating. So the work will go slowly if you're there or if you're not there. The bad side about going to Africa and doing your project is they're stealing too. Now that will occur if you're here or even you're there. They will steal from you, even if you're right there in plain sight. I think I did one of my video where I named it story time, and I told you guys that whether you're there or you're not there, stealing will occur. Stealing will occur. And then when you're there, you get easily frustrated, because in Africa, mainly Liberia, is one thing one day. So when you're there, you get easily frustrated with contractors, with workers, or with anything. So I don't want to make this discussion too long. I just wanted to bring it to you guys. What do you prefer about your work? Do you want to stay here and do your work, or go to Africa and get your work done? If you want to know what I think, from my experience, I would say so far, for what I think worked for me, is to be here in America and do your projects. because I believe you gain a lot more if you stay here and do your project instead of holding whatever finances you have and go there. Now, in order to stay here and do your project, you need to have trustworthy people. Now, we all know we have fallen short of the glory of God, all of us. So I would not say there is any perfect person. I would just say you find the one that you can work with and just stay with them. Just stay with them. So if you find that person where you can say you work with, just stay here and do your project. And when you're ready, or you think your project is at a stage where you're ready to go or ready to take it to the next step, then you go. Because going there is like, sometimes you go there and then there's just one thing you achieve at that time. And we all know that the plane ticket is mad expensive. So if you can stay here, I mean, nowadays things are a little bit easier because we have Facebook Messenger. But to tell you the truth, any store you want to buy something from, mostly in Liberia, you can go on Facebook and even call them yourself. I remember I've called City Builder on Messenger before, on WhatsApp, and talked to them and asked them for prices. They themselves were showing me around, and then I sent family member there. So use the internet, call them, go to the store, find out the prices, go on websites and check it, and stay here and do a lot more. And then when you get ready, you can go. Because here, like I said, though it's frustrating, I remember sometimes in the morning when we get up to do projects, I'll just be like, oh, because it's a lot of stress. But friendly speaking, from my experience, I think staying here and getting your work done until you're ready to go is the best. So like I said, I didn't want to make this discussion long. I want to tell you guys, thank you for commenting, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Remember, I am begging you guys to continue to subscribe and watch the channel. It encourages me when I see that my work that I'm doing is not in vain. So I want to say thanks. And remember why I always say in the video, in God time is the best. Stay blessed. Have a blessed day.